We just connected at the heart and spirit from the very first time we met. So I'll tell you a little bit about me, but first I want you to realize brand new consultants, and those of you that have brand new consultants on the Zoom tonight, leadership is everything. And I want you to count your blessings that you have an amazing leader. She's all in. She has done all the things she's showing you tonight. She got her starter kit, and she was in the first grade, in the second grade, and the third grade. And we all did. We all started exactly the same way. And so I just applaud you, B, for being an independent national sales director, driving a pink Escalade and earning trips all over the world. She made it all about me tonight, but I could read the same accolades right back to her. So thank you for giving me the honor of being with your people tonight and trusting me with your people. You know, we're protective, we're good shepherds of our flocks, and she trusts me tonight to be with you. And OMG, when I think back, I was, say hot mess. I was a hot mess when I started Mary Kay. I don't think there was ever a more scared or fragile independent beauty consultant that signed her agreement. I was 25. I was invited to something like you're going to do for marketing on your Zoom. I was invited to a Mary Kay meeting. I think there were 6 people there in a tiny little hotel in Leesville, Louisiana, a little dingy hotel, nothing glamorous. And the lady invited me. Linda had been my Tupperware lady, and now she was selling Mary Kay. And she begged me, bribed me, romanced me to go to this dumb Mary Kay meeting with her. And I was like, Linda, I don't want to go to a meeting. I didn't wear makeup. I was home with my son. He was 10 months old, I think. I had a first time early motherhood, early marriage. But finally, this is what you want to write down, note to self. She kept telling me what was in it for me to go to the meeting. I would have never gone. But then she said, if I would go with she's, and I said, so you mean if I just show up with you at this meeting, you're going to get the present? And she said, yeah. I said, well, I'll be there. That's what I needed to hear because I'm a team player. I didn't want a dumb present, but I would have done anything to help her win. So be sure when you talk to people about inviting them to hear more about the business, be sure you tell them what's in it for them, but make sure you tell them what's in it for you because a team player will show up for you. And if you want to be a great team leader, you've got to be a great team player. So I really just went for Linda. And the rest of the story, Linda only stayed in Mary Kay a few months, but she exposed me because that night, Jackie Swank was the sales director, just like you've been invited on tonight and you're meeting B and I, no matter who recruited you into Mary Kay. And I was exposed to a great leader, and I knew it. When I heard Jackie talk and tell her story, I fell in love. I didn't know anything about the products. I didn't know anything about the company, and I didn't ask any questions. I trusted my spirit, and it just felt good. I remember thinking the word accepted. I felt accepted and safe in that environment. And there were some women there that night that were professional and glamorous that were being recognized, like we recognized those of you earning medals tonight. We didn't get to really see who those people were, but at a live meeting, they're brought up front. But there were a couple of women there that night that I thought, Lordy mercy, if they could do it, I could do it. And that inspired me more than the sharp ones because I wasn't sharp. And so I went and I did join that night. I wrote $100 check for my starter kit. I think it was $85 back then. And then I got home and told my husband, and he thought this was a joke. He kind of thought I was a joke. That's a whole nother story. And then I called. So I was disappointed because you want your husband's approval. And then I called my sister, Lisa, because she loves makeup. And she said, I'm not buying Mary Kay from you just because you're selling it. She was very snobby about makeup. She was beautiful. She still is. Then I called my baby sister, Sherry. And I said, Sherry, I joined Mary Kay tonight. I need to know what you think because I'd love for you to host a party for me. And she said, I knew somebody that sold Mary Kay. They didn't do good at all. If you told your husband, I said, he's just as happy as you are. So I quit the same night I joined. I don't know if you know that. I called Jackie to tell her, tear up my check. I changed my mind. But she wasn't home. She had a 3-hour drive. And it was before cell phones. It was 1981. And so I started getting really scared. So at midnight, I called my mom. I said, Mom, I'm a new Mary Kay beauty consultant, and I don't think I can do it, and I need to know what you think. My mom said, baby, you can do anything. She said, "You worked hard all your life, and if Mary Kay's what you want to do, I'll have a party for you. Would that be okay?" And I said, "Yep, that'll be great." I said, "I wrote $100 check tonight for that starter kit, and I'll have $100 in the bank, Mom." And my now ex-husband didn't even think it was a good idea if it was free. So I borrowed $100 from my mom the next morning and deposited it in the bank before that check cleared, because back then you had a little time, it had to be mailed in. And that's how I started. Scared to death, quit the night I started. Didn't really think I would ever be successful, but I have a lot of common sense, and I understood the value of inventory. No one had to convince me of that. When they explained the marketing plan, I knew I needed every advantage. I knew that I would have to work harder than everybody else. I was very insecure, not skilled. Acne-prone skin, no professional dress, no professional anything. I didn't go to college. I waited tables and tended bar, and I was a secretary before Mary Kay. And so, but I knew I wanted to set myself up for success. So when they explained, I wanted to be a star consultant, and but I didn't have any money and I didn't have any credit. So first I asked my husband, and he said, the first word on that agreement is independent. So if you can't do this yourself, you don't need to be in business. And I thought that was fair. Then I asked the bank, if I could borrow the money, and they said, sure, if your husband co-signs for you. That was a problem. So then I asked my mom if she would co-sign, and she said sure, but she was already overextended. My mom didn't have any money. So then I cried for 2 days. Here's the deal. You can be a victim or a victor. You can get better or bitter, or you can find a way or make a way. And by then, my desire to be in Mary Kay and have some product and give this a chance was welling up inside of me. It was becoming more and more, I had to do this. So I asked my dad. My mom and dad divorced when I was 6 years old. He'd never been a part of my life physically or financially, but my dad had credit. And I didn't ask him for the money, but I asked him for it. The only reason he did is on the back of that agreement, it says it gives you a 90% buyback guarantee. So I was able to get my Mary Kay loan and start my business. And I borrowed $2,500 in 1981. Interest was 18%. And I paid it off in 3 months. I sold $400 every week because I was not going to let my dad down. He went to bat for me for the first time in my life, and I would have done anything to pay that loan off. And then I kept doing that. $400 a week at the end of the month was $1,600. $800 went towards the loan, and $800 went towards replacing my inventory. So I'd take no profit, but I didn't have any money before, so I just did without Mary Kay money then, and paid off my loan in 3 months. And then I kept doing that the 4th month. Then I had working capital. I had $800 in the bank that was free. And from that point forward, I could spend half of everything I sold. And I had enough money to register for seminar or to buy myself. And I didn't have any clothes. I put a little suit on layaway and paid it off, so I could look professional. But I love telling you the beginning because I was so fragile. And if it had not been for my mom saying, baby, you can do anything, I promise you I would have quit the same night I joined. And I would have never known what I could do with this business. So no matter how you started, no matter who's telling you what you can and can't do, nobody really knew who I was, nor did I. I've never been given an opportunity really to fly and to blossom in an environment of acceptance and encouragement. And Jackie went through and explained to me, I've got my original notes B from my orientation class as a new consultant. And it says A, attitude. You can do everything wrong with the right spirit, succeed. B, get your booking. C, coach your hostesses. It's so simple. I think Mary Kay's simple, and life is hard. Life is hard, and it's not fair. But Mary Kay's simple. I can help a woman look pretty and feel pretty. I just think it's the simplest job in the whole wide world. And so, where's my sales ticket? Oh, here it is. 2 days ago, I did a $450 facial because I love the product, and I met this woman. I love her. She's a realtor. I met her going into an open house, and she said, I'm just ready. I told her I was with Mary Kay. She said, I'm ready to start investing, taking care of my skin. What do you think I need? And I said, come over. And she didn't want a facial. I just showed it on the back of her hand. And I said exactly what I believed that she would love. Repair, the glycolic acid peel, the deep wrinkle filler, the microdermabrasion. She loved the oil. I just was rubbing it on my hands. That's what I went to get, actually. when I walked away because I wanted to rub it in while we're talking. And everything that I really did tell her that I would love, she bought and loved. So that's just the simplicity of the business, you guys. And of course, I told her about the business. She says, no, I'd really rather be your customer. Even I explained the marketing plan to her. And I said, awesome. Who do you know that you think may be interested in doing what I do? And she says, my daughter-in-law. And not my daughter-in-law, her stepdaughter. And I was like, well, let's talk. So I'm going to talk to her stepdaughter. So I'm just giving you a little how this worked, how it started, and how it's progressed for now 39 years. Not crazy?
Wow, you know what I love, Cindy. You can't take the consultant out of Cindy Williams.
Nope.
I mean, sharing the product, doing the appointment full circle, really, really awesome. You shared a bit of this, but what advice would you have for new consultants just starting out?
I wish I could just tell you, I wish I could give you courage, but I think you have to find it yourself. I would walk around a store for 2 hours holding my business card and following a woman, and I couldn't say Mama Mary Kay. I just couldn't do it. No matter how much I wanted to, it just couldn't come out because I felt like I was going to get the names, going to get the customers, get the bookings. And it didn't feel right in my spirit. I was like, will she think I'm talking to her just to sell her something? It just went against my brain. But so I wish I could tell you, but for me, that was just a process, a journey. But I would finally want to be successful so badly that I would overcome my fear. But it took all of me to do it. Oh my God, I remember that so well. And today, I can't stop myself from doing it. just like a Zurich airport, or if I'm at an open house with the realtor, I'm giving. It's the opposite of how I felt in the beginning. I'm giving them me. I'm giving them my time, my talent, and the treasure I've invested in learning about this product. And they're getting a gift. And if they say no to my gift, I feel bad for them. I do not feel bad for me. I believe with all my heart, I have the best product. I think you can spend more but not buy better. And the proof is in the pudding. We look good, B. And yes, I'm getting older. I retire in a year, so I'm 64. But we've been in Mary Kay a long, long time. You can line up Mary Kay women, and we just look better. I mean, part of it's genes, part of it's stress, part of it's sun, but a part of it is great skincare and being faithful to use it. I've been faithful to use Mary Kay and nothing else for 39 years. And I bet you maybe not 30 times in 30 years have I gone to bed without washing my face. Even if I'm tired or been drinking or whatever, I go and Dean laughs at me because it's just in my brain. It's part of my job is to take care of my skin. So I wish I could tell, but the bottom line is, new consultant, I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what education, how much inventory, where you live. Until you see the people, you will not build a business. This is a party plan company, and if you miss the party, you miss the plan. You can think about it, talk about it, pray about it. You've got to go put product on faces. I don't care if it's virtual or in person or both. I think we're doing both. I'm not afraid of the virus at all. I think God's in control of everything, and I'm going to meet my maker at exactly the right day, and I'd rather live free than be in prison. And so I respect it. I wear my mask in public, and I do all the things to protect other people, but not to protect me. I am very courageous. You talked about that earlier. I'd get on an airplane tomorrow and fly anywhere in the world.
I did.
Yeah, I have no fear.
Yeah. Cindy has no fear. She will hang from a cliff. She has no fear. And one of her best gifts, I think, is she gives people around her courage. I mean, she's doing that. I can see in the chat, my goodness, so many of you are so impressed, and it's so lovely. So what about, Cindy, consultants that, want to lead? They want to lead a strong team. What advice do you have for them?
Well, good luck in just picking the strong team. You would never know I was going to be strong. You'd have missed me. I say all are welcome at the table personally. I mean, I hear people say, oh, I'm going to go get the good ones. Well, I don't know who the good ones are. You just never know. You lead and you love. All that you can do is lead by example. And so to build a team, you know, the person with the most team members is going to beat you. It's really not quality, because when you have the quantity, the cream will rise to the top. And I just encourage you also to be voracious about self-help. Lead self to lead others. I'm listening to Darren Hardy's emotional roller coaster. No, what's it called? Entrepreneurial roller coaster. It was actually free. It was a download, and I walk in the morning and I listen. I'm a Pac-Man for learning. So number one way to make sure that you're going to lead a strong team is you be a strong leader. And the only way you're going to learn to be a strong leader is to learn. We're not born winners or losers. We're all born learners, and who we learn from determines whether we win or lose. And I have slogans all over the place. They go in my head. Work without vision. Vision without work is fantasy. Work without vision is drudgery. You're going to a job, but you don't want to be there. Drudgery. But work and vision is victory. You know, all those things are always in my head. I say I'm unoffendable all the time. I'm unoffendable. Nothing can offend me. I have to choose to be offended. Hurting people hurt, and they must have not understood what I said. And when I offer somebody a facial or the career opportunity, and they say no, I go, wow, you must have misunderstood me. Because if you knew what I knew, you'd be begging for it. But it rolls off of me like a duck. So leading a strong team, just have the courage to ask. Mary Kay said the 3-foot rule. But I would just say this, when I smile at someone, if they smile back. And I have tremendous discernment. We all have discernment. I think it's Holy Spirit, I believe. But listen to your inner voice. When you feel somebody's energy, you feel kind, they're friendly, they're ambitious, they're being really sweet to their little 2-year-old that's pitching a fit in a store. Watch those people. Go pick the people that you want. All are welcome at the table, but sometimes you miss the good ones because they're just that good person. You know, really and truly, we're good people. And we're easy to love, B&I. And that's the kind of people you want on your team. Kind people. Kindness is never overrated. Give me a kind person with a good work ethic that's willing to learn. She can write her paycheck.
Amen. Amen to that. You know, Cindy, you kind of alluded to the next question, but it sounds like, you know, you have affirmations, you have slogans. How do you stay motivated?
Well, the choice of not being motivated is not good. I think people think it's natural. I think it's something I have to work on every day. Every morning I wake up and do my affirmations. And some of y'all know that because I was the #1 national at seminar a couple of years ago, and it was impossible. We had never been #1, but we were top 3. And when we were top 3, it changes your belief. You're like, oh my God, if we could be top 3, then maybe we could be #1. And so when I walked off that stage 3 years ago or whatever, as #3, I was like, oh, we are going to run this race. And Mary Kay Ash, when she was alive and she opened seminar every year, she would be given the microphone and she would say, are you ready for the most exciting night of your life? She said that for all the years I've been in Mary Kay. And then when she passed away in 2001, the #1 national sales director got to hold the microphone and say that. And every time that national said it, I saw myself saying it. I would, but I didn't really believe it. Okay, you can dream, but it's not a goal. I had no goal, but I would think about it. And so that year, when I got off that stage and I got home, every morning I'd grab my toothbrush like it was my microphone. And I'd say, Cindy Williams, are you ready for the most exciting night of your life? I said it every morning and every night. And Dee would go, yeah. And so I believe that power, that energy, because it was impossible for us to win. We had way smaller of a national area, and the other people were so much bigger than us and better than us. We were the huge underdog. But oh my word, we were #1. And I believe it was the power of that affirmation And nobody knew I was even saying it, you guys. It was all, but I would beat my chest and I would bound out of that bed like a gazelle. I was chasing down my dream. So I just really tell you that words have a life. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word became life. And what you think about, you will talk about. And what you talk about, you will bring about. And I love the quote, seldom do people get what they want, but they almost always get what they expect. Seldom do people get what they want, but they almost always get what they expect. Like I expected I was going to come in as a star consultant. I expected I was going to pay off my dad, that was a co-signed loan, but I was beast. If I only sold 300 that week, I would kill myself to sell 500 the next week. Nobody had to tell me to do it. I was accountable to myself. I've never needed an accountability partner because I am very accountable to discipline myself. And you say, well, how do you stay motivated? Well, what's the other choice? You know, and just a little side note, my mom was married many times. I had a very colorful childhood. I never went to the same school 2 years ago in my life. Lots of alcoholism, lots of abuse. I was on my own when I was 16. And so I know what being codependent and being an enabler and being in chaos as a child was. And I just decided that would not be my life. So I choose to be a victor, not a victim. And I'm a self-proclaimed joyologist because life is short and it's not easy or fair, but it's just not really what happens. It's how you deal with it.
Can you all see why I love her so much? Just like being around her. I mean, I'd go anywhere in the world with this person because she is that joyologist.
And you did.
Your filter on life is amazing. Yes, and I have. And it's been really, really wonderful. We're getting close to our time, but what is a fun Mary Kay story? You know, Mary Kay was active in the business while you were coming through the ranks as a top director. Do you have a favorite or fun Mary Kay story, Cindy, you could share?
Yeah, I was really blessed because I traveled with her for 20 years. And, you know, I remember she was very frugal, and I am too. I'm a very good steward of my money. And so I remember her in Hong Kong, you know, really loving this necklace at this little jewelry shop. And she kept going and visiting it, but he would not come down on the price. And she left there without it. She could have bought the store, but she would not let him overcharge her because she was Mary Kay Ash. You know, and I remember going to her home. She had a beautiful home, but it was conservative. And then her son said, Mom, you're this big fancy person. We need this big, huge house. So she went and moved into this big, huge house. She never really loved it. And she went back home. She sold that big, beautiful house, and she went back home to her comfortable, her humble home. And that's where she passed away. And I relate to that. I'm a simple girl. I will just show you my wedding ring. It's a gold band. Dean would have bought me anything in the world. And I had to really beg him not to buy me a diamond because it was important to him that he valued me that much. But I said, I never want to take it off. And I got buckets of diamonds. And the first thing I do is take off my jewelry. I put all this on just for y'all. I got a lot of it. But Cindy Williams could give a rip about the diamonds. I'm grateful for them. I'm proud that I've earned them and what they represent. But I didn't want a diamond ring for my wedding. So that just, and Mary Kay Ash, I saw her buy a knockoff Piaget watch one time on a trip. And she said, Richard will never know, her son. He said, he's got one just like it, but his is real. She was so proud. And she would say, save your money, you know, be a good steward because one day you could need it. And I love having money to, like, when my mom was, you know, had cancer and I could go back and forth with her and take off all I wanted to, you know, anyway, prioritize your life and get out of debt, just FYI. So the things Mary Kay taught me were to thine own self be true. It's your one life, and people like the real deal, raw and real. Not to the point where you, oh my God, let me tell you what all I've been through, having a pity party, but to the point of giving people hope because you've overcome the obstacles.
Well, Cindy, you have given
Woo!
people hope tonight. And if you look, I mean, you're getting applause. And if you, the chat is just full of how much you've empowered people and how much they love you, Cindy Williams. Let me ask you this. Are there any closing words that you'd like to add
Yes,
tonight?
because it's October and I sold $10,000 in 1981, 82 as a new independent beauty consultant. So Christmas selling is always a big part of my love. I just love to make somebody happy. And so before Mary Kay, I'd done payroll for 300 plumbers and pipe fitters. So I knew all these guys. So what's your circle? Who do you pay money to? I've never really called on people for holiday gift sales. I go to the people that I do business with or that I know. And then once they buy from me, I say, well, this is what Dr. Smith is doing, or this is what blah, blah, blah. And I loved, but I sold so much stuff. So don't miss out on the Christmas selling season. And I personally think limited edition is limited. So I only focus on the permanent line item, like satin lips, a roll-up bag. You've probably heard me teach this feed, but if y'all put it together, satin lips in one pocket with just white shred, satin hands in another pocket, and satin body, and I leave the third pocket empty. Put that in a roll-up bag with white shred or whatever shred, and just tie a big bow on it. Bam, that's your gift. Put a little trinket on it if you want to, and you sell it to people for $150 is what I do. And I say, this is satin lips to kiss, satin hands to hold, satin body to hug. Whether it's for a lover or for a mother, Mom, for all the nights you kissed me goodnight, or baby satin lips for me to kiss. So I just think don't miss out on the Christmas, and most consultants don't do Christmas sales. It takes courage. It takes courage, but it is pure profit, and you have to match foundation color. Oh my gosh, or pick a lipstick. Shoot me, okay? And so I think it's just easy money. And those men need help. I only target men, not women. And I just say, I'll make you a hero this year. What's it worth to you when she's really, really happy? That's my advice for don't miss out on the Christmas selling season.
Well, again, it's just an extension of your heart, Cindy. You want to make people happy, and by providing holiday gifts, you are, and you're making him look like a hero, and his wife is, or girlfriend, or mom, or whatever is just feeling so cherished. And again, you're spreading the love, spreading the happiness. Oh my gosh, Cindy Williams, you exceeded my expectations tonight. And go ahead, give her some love in the chat. Oh, I know you are, and I'm going to send you a copy of the chat because it is so impressive how much people are really enjoying what you have to say. Bernadette, you're like all excited there, and I've seen you just clapping all night. If you want to unmute and you want to affirm Cindy, how has she impacted you tonight? Bernadette, brand new Premier Club driver. Go for it, Bernadette.
Oh my gosh, Cindy, you are so phenomenal. Thank you so much for pouring into us and sharing so authentically just your story. I've seen you on stage last year at seminar, and just being with you in this intimate setting. You just gave me more wind to win that Cadillac. So thank you so much for everything. You are such an amazing leader. Thank you so much.
Your people want you to be in a Cadillac, Bernadette. It's not for you. It's the team trophy. So let them help you win, and enroll your customers. Your customers want to help you win. We were created for communion, and we, especially as women, we're team players. So enroll them. They're a part of the win, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So pretty.
That was beautiful, beautiful. Well, our time has come to a close, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Cindy, and thank you for your willingness to do this when I asked you, and congratulations.